This is Huxley. When he came into my care, he was overweight, matted beyond recognition, and carrying a secret nobody knew about yet. And by the time we figured out what that secret was and got him into surgery, his body was ready. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Huxley came to me through PAW, the Partnership for Animal Welfare, as a medical foster. His shelter name was Lord Farquaad, which honestly suited him perfectly when he arrived. He's a party Cocker Spaniel, 8 years old, neutered male, and he weighed in at just over 58 pounds when he first landed at the shelter. For a Cocker Spaniel, that is significantly overweight. His blood work and intake showed elevated neutrophils, elevated platelet indices, PDW and MPB both flagged high, and his liver enzymes were sitting at the top of the normal range. Nothing catastrophic, but everything pointing to a body under chronic stress. He had also tested positive for Lyme disease, and he came with a Giardia infection. So before we could even think about anything else, we had to stabilize him. Here's the thing about heavily matted dogs. You don't know what's under there until you get in there. When Huxley was finally groomed, and really groomed, not just tidied up, we found it. A raised nodular growth sitting right there in his coat. A mast cell tumor. Now, if you're not familiar with MCTs, mast cell tumors are the most common malignant skin tumor in dogs. And they're particularly tricky because mast cells are filled with histamine and other inflammatory compounds. When they're disturbed, even just by handling the tumor, they can degranulate and release those compounds systemically. This is why Huxley's histamine levels were flagged even as his other blood work improved. His body was literally reacting to the presence of that tumor. The good news? We caught it. And we caught it early enough to do something about it. My first priority was getting Huxley's internal environment as healthy as possible before surgery. We started with food. I transitioned him onto a fresh food diet, real, whole, minimally processed food. No kibble. We needed to bring down systemic inflammation, support his liver, and get his immune system in a better position to handle both the tumor and eventual surgical recovery. Within weeks, you could see the difference. His weight started coming down. His energy shifted. He started looking like a different dog. Alongside the dietary shift, I brought in a traditional Chinese veterinary medicine formula called Xiao, which translates roughly to free and easy wanderer, is a classical formula used for what TCVM calls liver qi stagnation. In Western terms, think of it as a formula that supports the liver's detoxification pathways, moves stagnant energy, and addresses the emotional and physical stress that accumulates in a body that has been struggling for a long time. For a dog like Huxley, overweight, chronically inflamed, carrying a tumor, coming out of the shelter, that liver qi stagnation piece was written all over him. When Huxley went into Caring Hands Animal Hospital in Rockville for his surgery, his blood work was stable. Neutrophils normal, liver enzymes normalized, platelet indices coming back into range. The only outlier was the histamines, which, given that he still had an active mast cell tumor on his body, made complete sense. That was the tumor talking. When Huxley went into Caring Hands Animal Hospital in Rockville for his surgery, his blood work was stable. Now, one thing worth knowing about Caring Hands Rockville is that they use a surgical laser rather than a traditional blade. For a mast cell tumor excision, that matters. The laser seals nerve endings and cauterizes small blood vessels as it cuts. That means less bleeding, less swelling, and less physical trauma to the surrounding tissue during removal. And for a tumor whose cells are packed with histamine, cells that degranulate when disturbed, minimizing tissue trauma during excision is not a minor detail. It's the difference between a clean, controlled removal and a procedure that inadvertently triggers a systemic histamine response on the table. The surgical team at Caring Hands did a beautiful job. The mast cell tumor was fully excised, clean margins. Let me say that again because it matters. Clean margins, meaning they got it all. In oncology, veterinary or human, clean margins mean the surgeon removed the tumor with a surrounding border of healthy tissue. And when that tissue was examined under a microscope, there were no cancerous cells at the edge. That's the goal. That's what you want. And the reason I want to highlight this is not because it's great news for Huxley. It's because I believe the preparation mattered. A body that is nutritionally supported, with reduced systemic inflammation, with the liver functioning well, that body handles surgery differently than one that doesn't have that foundation. Build the terrain, the body responds. After recovery, Huxley was adopted. His new family chose him, this slightly chunky, freshly groomed, now healthy Cocker Spaniel who had come such a long way. And look at him. Just look at him. From Lord Farquaad to Huxley, from 58 pounds and matted and sick, to clean margins in a forever home. That's the whole point of what we do. So what I want you to walk away with today. First, if you have a dog with a newly diagnosed mast cell tumor, please do not panic. Caught early, surgically removed with clean margins, many dogs go on to live full, healthy lives. Second, the time between diagnosis and surgery is not dead time. That window is an opportunity. Fresh food, targeted supplementation, TCVM support, all of it can prepare the body for what's coming and improve surgical outcomes. Third, grooming matters, and not just for looks. Matted coats hide things. Regular grooming is part of your dog's health monitoring. And fourth, if you have a shelter or rescue dog who comes in with a complicated history, give them time. Give their body a chance to rebalance. The story isn't written yet. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who has a dog going through something similar right now. And if you have questions about integrative support for cancer or tumors in dogs, leave them in the comments. I read every single one. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one to build a nutrition and supplement protocol for your dog or cat, you can find my programs at woofnutrition.com. Links are in the description below.